Okay, so far we have looked at the previous couple months. We looked at January and February. We've set our budgets. We've allocated a lot of transactions. What else can we do with this spreadsheet? Well, we've looked at how you can categorize things automatically. You will also begin to see totals here. Now, if you are filling in transaction amounts and total amounts for different categories for parsonage, then you will see that under the parsonage report tab. But otherwise, if you're not doing any of that, your most interesting tabs will be the income and the expense tabs. And this is basically a summary of your income for the income tab. So whatever categories you put here in January, so if you go all the way back to January, these categories here are exactly what will show up in the income tab. And over here you'll see all the different amounts of income that you had. You'll see an average for the year, a total, and you'll also see the month to month. So obviously we've only filled out a month and a bit, so that's what you're going to see. And then under expenses, you'll see all these sections where you can contract and expand, and this will allow you to see basically a rundown of how your expenses are going. So you have your rent, you have your internet, etc., and you can see a total for that category, and you will also see a total for the items in that category. Now, once again, these are based on the formula up here. So A38 for transportation goes all the way back to January, and you see A38 is transportation. So if you change these labels, it will change the labels there. So you could say, instead of transportation, you could say travel, right? And then when you go back into your expenses, it will now say travel. So that just allows you some means to customize. The same thing is true for all of these categories here. These will all change, just like you see zoo here, which we changed earlier. And so each of these will give you a summary to see how you're tracking throughout the year with your expenses. Then there's a reimbursements tab as well. And the reimbursements tab will basically show you all of the reimbursements that you expected would be reimbursed, and then the actual reimbursements you received. That is really helpful simply because you want to make sure that you actually got the reimbursements you expected. Now, obviously something is messed up here. I've listed more things got reimbursed than I expected to be reimbursed. So I would have to go back and check my transactions and see what happened there. And sure enough, when I go back here, I see here's a huge reimbursement, right? And there is no corresponding to be reimbursed line to counteract that. So I would then need to go in and recategorize accordingly if needed, or maybe Amazon just sent me money, you know, wouldn't that be nice? So we have options. And then after that, we have a master summary, and this master summary is basically everything at the end of the year will be shown here in one sheet. So you'll see your average spending per category, so credit cards, giving, home, travel, etc. This summarizes the category sections that you see in expenses. It's not all of these subsections, but these major sections here are shown. And by the way, you can also contract this if you just want to see the total and average. But then under that summary tab at the end, you're just seeing those major categories, not all the subcategories, which is helpful if you just want to see what each major category looked like and the damage it was doing. So then you'll also have a little chart here that will show you your income, your expenses, your ending balance. So this will also show you if you're on the up or on the down by the end of the year. So this is just a great way to be able to see and get a grip of everything that's going on. And then as you work through everything, you'll be able to make sure that your spending is on track and that everything that you plan to spend is spent and not hopefully too much more. So I hope this has been helpful as a short overview. And as you go through this, you'll get more and more used to it. The best thing about this is that as you automatically categorize things, it gets easier and easier. Eventually, within a couple months, almost all of these categories start filling themselves in, usually with the exception of like Amazon, just because you can automatically set the categories here. This has been a short overview of everything. Of course, as you're setting it up, you'll want to remove the word copy here. You don't need to have that in there. So you could say my name, right? And then you'll have that right there. So I hope this has been helpful to you and that this overview will get you started on the right foot so that you can succeed through this year in your financial goals. All the best.